Good morning, everyone. We're delighted to have Rachael Thompson of the DSLCC Educational Foundation with us. Rachael is the Executive Director. Welcome, Rachael.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here this morning.
Pleasure to be here.
We're here to talk about the Dabney Promise. It's a program of the Educational Foundation. Rachael, could you explain some of the essentials of it?
I'd love to. The Dabney Promise program really serves to fill a gap that we found that a lot of our students had. So even after scholarships and financial aid, whether it be at the federal and state level, there was still a gap that students had to meet in order to pay for their education. And what we found is that even if that gap were a small amount, a lot of our students were not able to find the funds to fill that gap and to be able to attend college. So the purpose of this program, it's a need-based tertiary level funding, so third level in. After scholarships are applied and financial aid, this money would help to supplement and fill that gap for students. So essentially, they're able to come to Dabney tuition free. And there's also a book allowance in it as well.
Wow, that's very generous. What's the process for students to be a part of this program?
Absolutely. Students have to apply, and they do have to be residents of the college's service area. They also have to have a 2.25 GPA. So while this is primarily need-based, we do have that merit component in that we want to make sure our students have a vested interest in their own education before we allow community dollars to be invested in them. So they do have to apply. They can apply for the next academic year starting in February. We will be live on our website with the new application at that time. But for the time being, if they want to focus on making sure they have that GPA that they need to get into the program, that's what they can do.
Is this what we, in generic terms, call having a dog in the hunt?
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And I will tell you, we have some unique facets of our program that make us different from other Promise programs. Now, Promise programs are popping up all over the country. It's America's College Promise, as you may have heard. We were one of the front runners in that effort. So we developed a lot of our initiatives and requirements before a lot of this became public and well known across the country. Something that's very unique for us is that our students are required to do community service. Our program is also open to all types of students. Some of the other programs in different parts of the Commonwealth require it to be a high school student. We do not. We accept continuing students, so students that are in their second or third or fourth year at Dabney, if they're going part-time, as well as non-traditional students. So students, there may be some of you out there who didn't go to college immediately after high school, but now are deciding that they need to go back and get that certificate or degree. So we open it up to all students.
The foundation really has had an amazing effect on the community in Dabney as well. And I note that it's developed over $1.6 million in funds for scholarships.
That's correct, and that's since our inception. We were actually created in 1980, and since that time, throughout the course of our history, we have in fact awarded over $1.6 million in student scholarships, and those dollars are for students right here in our service area. So our neighbors, our friends, we've been able to impact them and enable them to further their education and also find employment in the region.
Well, it has a huge economic effect. So you have this program and others. Is this the most significant thing that the Educational Foundation does, or are there other things that the public would like to know about?
Sure. I would say, and I'm sure that our foundation board and leadership would agree, that supporting our students is our #1 priority, and it has been since day one, since we started in 1980. We love our students. We support them in many ways, but we also want to support the college. If we can help students get here and eliminate that financial barrier, the service that we provide them is incredibly important. So we need to be able to support the college as well. With funding that continues to decrease, from the government,
Sure.
The onus is on the college to make sure that they're able to provide that stellar student experience that everybody has come to know and love at Dabney Lancaster, because it's a small, intimate community. In order to help them, we need resources. And so that's our other main role as the foundation, is to make sure that we support the college in the resources that they need.
Well, let's talk about resources for a moment.
Sure.
How, of course, the Educational Foundation can receive grants. There's other kinds of federal funding probably, But let's say that an individual has a substantial estate or just would like to make a donation. How do they go about doing so?
Absolutely. It's a very simple foundation. My number is 0863-2837. Receive emails. It's very simple. rthompson@dslcc.edu. And I'd love to have a conversation with you, understand more about what it is that you're aiming to do, and we'll go from there. But we certainly do accept planned gifts. So as you mentioned, anybody that wants to name us in a will or estate plan or interested in a charitable gift annuity, we can do all of those things. And we're also happy to accept pledges. If you feel that you want to give a certain amount over a period of time, but you can't give it right today, but you want to make that commitment, we can make that happen for you as well.
And there's been some substantial donations, private donations over the years, haven't there?
Yes, sir. In fact, and some of you may know, and I know that you're aware, we just finished our first major gifts campaign in almost 20 years. So
it was amazing, amazing results.
We were very community here because almost all that were local dollars.